Images makes our website look beautiful and interactive. So let's look how we can put images in our website. Firstly, let's save this file in the same folder, html-images.html, and hit on save. I'll type the exclamation mark and hit tab. So here I have got the structure of the page, and now let's start with the image tag. So the tag for image is img and hit tab. So firstly, let's understand what this is. If you notice here, this is a single tag. So there is no closing tag. Okay, so there is just an opening tag, and plus there are two attributes in this. Firstly, source, that is src. In source, we will give the location of our image, where our image is stored. And inside alt, that is alternative, we give the alternate text. If your image cannot load on your website due to any reason, if the internet is not working or the image is not found, or you gave the wrong path for the image, so if the image cannot load, then the browser will show the alternate text in place of the image. You will understand this shortly when we do this. So right now just save this and let's view this file on browser. So here is our file, that is HTML images. So right now you can see it's blank. We cannot see any image, we cannot see any text, nothing is there. So why is it happening? So as I told you, in source, we give the path of the image where our image is stored, right? So right now we haven't given any path to the image. So right now it's empty, and therefore the browser cannot find the image, and hence it shows the blank page. Let me write some alternate text here. My image. Save and refresh. Okay, so you can see here, I haven't got my image, but I have got alternate text. So you might have seen this type of symbol when maybe your internet is not working, or maybe due to other reasons. This is the alternate text, so the browser cannot find the image, and hence it shows me the alternate text in place of the image. So now the users know there is supposed to be an image in place of this, but the image cannot load, so it is showing me this alternate text. Now there are two ways in which we can give the path of the image. So the first one is the absolute path, and the second one is the relative path. So let's start with absolute path. Okay, so firstly I'll need an image here. So I have taken an image here. Okay, let me show you. So this is the image that I want. Now I have to get its path. Okay, so the path is, you can see right now it's stored on desktop, and we are talking about absolute path. So in order to get the path of an image, I'll right click on it and click on properties. So here you can see this is the location of my image, okay, and this is the name of my image, and then you have the extension, that is .jpg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this location, and here in the source, that is src, I'm going to paste that location, right? So my image is on desktop right now. I have to give the file name also, because the complete path of the image will be with its file name followed by the extension. So this is the complete path of my image right now. Let's save this and find out if we get the image. Okay, so this was the image that we wanted here, right? So this is called the absolute path. It gives you the complete path of the image where it is stored. Now let's look at the relative path. So I'm going to use a new image for that. Here I have an image. This is a simple computer screen image. And now I'm going to copy this file in our web development folder. Okay, so here is my image. So this is our HTML file in which we are putting our image. Now our HTML file and image both are in the same folder, that is web development. I'm going to create another image element, and let's give an alternate text here, laptop. And now you don't need to check the complete path of this file, because in relative path what we can do is, you can see what I have done here is that instead of giving the complete path, I have just given the name of the file. Okay, so this is the name of the file, laptop2 and this is a PNG file. So laptop2.png. So firstly, let's check whether we are getting the image or not. Okay, so let me save this file and refresh. So you can see I've got this image. Let's try the same with this one. What if we also give only the file name here? Let's check what happens. So you can see here we have given only the name of the file, but both the things are working differently. So what exactly is happening here? See, in this case, our file and image both are in the same folder. So what happens is that when you put an image in your HTML file, so then if you give the relative path, then the browser first searches in the same directory. So now your HTML file is here in web development folder. As the browser finds the relative path, it is going to search for logo.jpg in the same folder, but it cannot find the file and therefore it shows us the alternate text. Whereas in the second case, again, it finds the relative path and then in the same directory it searches for the image, and here it can find this image and therefore it shows us the image. Let me show you one more thing. Okay, so I'll create a new folder, images. And now I'm going to move this image to this folder. Let's now again check what happens. So now you can see earlier we were getting this image, but now we are not getting any of the images. So again, see what is happening in this HTML file, which is stored here in web development folder. The browser finds an image and the path of the image is this file name, and therefore the browser goes inside the same folder in which the HTML file is stored and it searches for this file named laptop2.png. But it cannot find this image and therefore it shows us the alternate text. Our file is actually inside the folder named images. So here, now if we want to give the path to this image, you can see inside web development folder, there is a folder named images and then there is a file laptop2.png. So now the relative path will become images/laptop2.png. Let's save this and refresh. So here you can see again we have got the image. Now let's suppose if you have to give the absolute path in place of this relative path, then how you can do that? For that again you are going to find its location. So right now you can see its location is on desktop. There is a folder web development and then there is a folder images inside which there is a file that is laptop2 and its extension is .png. So the absolute path for this image is going to be, I'm going to paste the location followed by the name of the file. Let's save this and refresh. So you can see here again I've got the same image. Okay, so now you have seen you can give the path in two formats. This one was the absolute path and this is the relative path. Save this and refresh. And here you can see I've got my image. So giving paths to images sometimes may get quite complicated and therefore you should make sure that you are giving the right path. And if you are not giving the right path, then you will get an image like this. And whenever you get an image like this, you should understand that maybe you are giving a wrong path and you should correct it. Okay, so now there can be another case also. Let's suppose my HTML file is stored in some other folder and my image is stored in some other folder. For example, I'll create a new folder and name it as HTML, and now I'm going to move this HTML file in this folder. So now this HTML file is inside a folder web development and then another folder that is HTML. But my image is inside another folder inside web development inside a folder named images. So if you see, HTML file and images are actually not in the same directory. They are not in the same folder. HTML file is in HTML folder and image file is in the images folder. And here again, you see, we are not getting the first image. We know the reason because it's on desktop and it is not in the same folder as the HTML file. then we are getting the second image because this is the absolute path. And then lastly, we are giving this relative path. So now what is happening is that we are opening this HTML file, right? And now the browser is searching in this same directory, that is, it is searching inside HTML folder for another folder named images, and then for a file that is laptop2.png. But that is not the case. Our HTML file is in some other folder and images file is in some other folder. So for that, what we have to do is, the browser is right now searching here. So now we want to tell the browser that come back one step and then go inside the images folder and you will find the image. So how we can do that? So for coming one step back, we have two dots and a slash. So this tells that come back one folder and then find another folder named images, and inside that you will find this file. Let's save this and refresh. And here you can see we have got the image. Okay, so I'll repeat here. This file is html-images.html, okay, which is inside the web development folder inside an HTML folder, and here is our file. So when we are looking for this image, the browser actually comes here in the same directory in which the HTML file is, and with the help of these two dots and a slash, we tell the browser to go back one step. So now it goes back one step and then we tell the browser to search for images folder. So it searches for images folder, which is here, and then this file. So this is our image, right? This is a bit complicated, but you will get used to it once you are working on it. You may make any number of folders here and there might be any number of levels. So let's suppose if your HTML file is in one folder and then you want the browser to go back two steps and then find the images folder, so then you can give another two dots and a slash, okay? Let's see how we can convert absolute path into relative path for an image. Let's suppose this is the path for HTML file. This is where the HTML file is stored. And this is the absolute path for image. Now suppose our HTML file is my-website.html. So the browser will currently be in web development folder where my-website.html file is saved. So this is the common path between the two. And now after web development folder, there is another folder images, and inside images folder, there is this image. So the relative path for this image is going to be, we are going to tell the browser to move ahead one folder and then find this image. So this is going to be the relative path for this image. Let's look at another example. Our HTML file is at the same location, but this time our image is on desktop. So the common path between the two is only till desktop, and the browser is currently at web development folder. So now we are going to tell the browser to move back one step, that is go to desktop and then find this image. So for going back, we will write two dots and a slash and then the remaining path. So this is going to be the relative path for this image. Now how are you going to decide when to use absolute path and when to use relative path? So let's find this out. So here you can see this is the absolute path and the image for this one is this, and this is the relative path and the image for this one is this. So right now I'm going to create a new folder and let's move the HTML file, that is HTML-images and the images folder to this new folder. And now I'm going to open the HTML file that is inside this new folder. Okay, here you can see now we are getting only one image, and that is the last one. So we are only getting the image with the relative path, but the one with the absolute path is now not available. Why is this happening? If you look at this absolute path, according to this path, on desktop there is a folder named web-development and then another folder named images, and then there is this image. But now we have moved our images folder to another folder, that is new folder. So now we have moved our images to this new folder. So you can see in this way the absolute path can change for any image or file. But then how are we getting this image? Because this is a relative path and this is the path that is relative to this HTML file. Now when we are opening this HTML file, so our browser will now search in this directory, and when it finds this relative path, so it will search for the folder that is images, and inside that this image. So there is no change in the relative path, but the absolute path has changed. And suppose that you want to upload this HTML file and images folder to your server. So again the absolute path will change, but the relative path will always remain same till the time the HTML file and this images folder are arranged in the same order. So therefore remember that whenever possible, use relative paths. Basically, when your HTML file and the images are on the same server, then always use relative path. But when your image is on some other server, then you can use absolute path.